Some people are at minicamp. Some people aren't at minicamp. Some players are already injured. Me and Tony Tucker are here to discuss it all.
I know that this seems like the downtime in the NFL, but like as we're recording this, a lot of mandatory mini camps are opened up across the league. And this just allows us to like, every week I say this, it's like we're in hype season, but the NFL is literally 365 days a year of hype season. Even in 100%. The season when it's bad, as fans, we are still trying to find a way to hype the things that we're excited about, whether it's our own team related or fantasy related or whatever it is. And that's the great thing about the NFL, is that we will line up and talk about whatever they consider to be news at this point.
I mean, literally anything. Literally anything. Like these smallest little things. Like me and you talk about it. It's funny how the Browns are tracking the quarterback stats at OTAs, but they're only marking Shedeur Sanders stats in the red zone period. And people are commenting that. They're saying, hey, we were at the practice. We know that this is only the red zone period. I know that it says he threw for 6 touchdowns, but all the plays started at the 10.
Well, it doesn't even matter at all because you can't hit the quarterbacks. You can't I remember at Chargers training camp, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, somebody targeted something. And for the first time ever, I saw them talking about how many times he would have been sacked. And they took those out as incompletions, right? They were rotating in some offensive line stuff. This was still under the Staley administration. And I was like, these are probably the truest training camp stats I've ever seen, because at least they're talking about what would have been marked as a sack, even though they couldn't hit Herbert at that time of practice. So it's like, but it still doesn't mean anything.
I mean, the stats don't mean anything at all. I'm with you 100%.
The stats don't mean anything.
I think what matters is the tape. Yeah, the reps, like you're saying, the tape they're putting on for these coaches, maybe their first impression, some of these rookies and stuff. That kind of stuff matters a little bit. But yeah, it is funny to see the Browns talking about OTAs, rookie voluntary workouts, where it's like, there's not even NFL players out there necessarily playing defense and offense. And he's just, we're just running drills and trying to get football activities started basically for the year. But minicamp has started for 24 teams today. I think the rest of the teams start tomorrow. But we already got some injuries, Tony. I don't know if you saw. We'll start with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence already dealing with some arm soreness. He is not practicing. He has been seen in a sling. He's not even holding his own arm up under his own support. And we're just starting off the offseason. I can tell that you're just getting this news.
Yeah. No, I knew CJ Stroud.
Trevor Lawrence is down. Liam Cohen came out and said, nobody panic. It's just some regular arm soreness. But every time this happens to a quarterback at this point in the season, it seems to hold back their ramp up.
Yeah, so obviously you have to be smart with the QB because your entire organization hinges on that person's health. And it doesn't matter. It's like we were just talking about the OTAs, the voluntary stuff, where you have the greatest athletes in the world playing catch in shorts. Yes, they're going to look impressive. You're going to see amazing highlights. But also, like, before when I said that it doesn't mean anything, I meant the stats. I want to clarify that and say that, like, the actual reps do mean something, going through the motion and seeing things. And I think that's extremely important for Trevor Lawrence. Like, he's going to be in a new offense with Travis Hunter out there on the field. Like, there's, like, continuing the chemistry with Brian Thomas Jr., working in stuff where it's like, is Brenton Strange really going to be the tight end one for the Jags this season? Are they one of the teams that could be in the Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, if those guys do become available at some point? But, like, no, this is not good. I heard about CJ Stroud. I wasn't sure how serious that was.
CJ returned today, actually, which is a good note that I had in here to bring up. Good time to bring it up. CJ is 100%, according to D'Amico Ryans as of today. We'll see if that holds. I saw some highlights of CJ throwing, actually, and they were making fun of him because he threw a back shoulder a little bit too far behind the receiver, but they're intentionally doing back shoulder fades. Yeah. So, come on. Y'all need to relax with this kind of stuff. And they're going against air. There's no defense. Like, anything, like you said, will come up.
Oh, yeah.
He underthrew the back shoulder fade, Tony.
The only time that I ever was like, okay, guys, you have a little bit of an argument there was like on a couple of those Tua deep balls where they weren't like done. Awful. Yeah, where it was like, okay, that was really short. I'm like, did that ball go like 44 yards or whatever? And it's like,
And that's during team period, in pads, like trying to complete a touchdown passes in a game scenario. This is just warm up, and they're making fun of DJ Stroud. But yeah, with the whole Jaguars thing, I will be worried because this is like got to be a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence, right? If the Jaguars are stinky again, how can they continue to tell their fans that this is going to work in the long run? And you had this young nucleus of a team all together at once. I guess it's going to depend on what Liam Cohen's opinion is of Trevor Lawrence, really.
It will, but also like contractually, it seems like they're pretty much on the hook. Although next year's quarterback class, I think, is going to be pretty hyped. I think there's going to be a lot of really great young talent in there. And maybe there is a team that would trade for Trevor Lawrence, if things don't go well this year. I happen to be kind of sneaky high on the Jaguars right now as like a team that I think can push for 9 to 10 wins based on, their division and their schedule for the season, but it doesn't help my opinion knowing that he's already having some arm soreness. That's not a great way to start things.
Well, another guy that you like, because we've had a lot of conversations about him over the years, and me and you have rooted for him a lot. Anthony Richardson, AC joint, already down as well. AC joint went, and he is out until training camp, is what the Colts are already saying, and Daniel Jones is going to act as the team's QB1 at practice if he can stay healthy. So that's very bad for Anthony Richardson. I think that's even worse than Trevor Lawrence because Anthony Richardson's actually actively in a QB battle.
Yeah, 100%. The amount of money they gave Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson is not going to be the starter at the beginning of it. It almost feels certain now that Daniel Jones will be the starter at the beginning of camp. And I just think that if Daniel Jones can be accurate, that they're going to be like, okay, this is already an upgrade from what we saw last year. And we might need to be thinking about keeping our jobs. Like Chris Ballard, the GM, the head coach might be thinking like, the organization is in a state of flux. Like one of the most entertaining owners, like I don't know him at all. So like what I know of Jim Irsay is that the guy has been like a rock star. He's like he's kind of like Jerry Jones, right? Where it's like, now he's gone. The organization is going to move or not move, but take on a new form, a new identity, new leadership and stuff like that. Does that come with like, hey, we might need to go new GM, new coach route? And in their minds, Daniel Jones might give them the safest shot at saying, I think we could win 9 or 10 games. I think we could pull off what Brian Daboll pulled off a few years ago, because the Colts team actually has a lot of talent on it. The running back position, the wide receiver position. You bring in Tyler Warren to the offensive side. The defensive side has talent. Like the Colts should be winning games.
Yeah, this was a sneaky spot that I thought maybe if the offseason unfolded and the Colts didn't like their quarterback situation, Aaron Rodgers might be interested in, just because the Pat McAfee connection, obviously. But like you're saying, there's actually something being built there around the pocket if we can just figure out the pocket and figure out keeping a clean pocket in Indianapolis. I agree with you. I think that there's a lot to work with, especially in the weapons department there for Shane Steichen still. And they're going to go with the quarterback that's going to win them the most games. They're not thinking development anymore on Anthony Richardson. That's unfortunate for him because he hasn't really had a chance to develop. He keeps getting hurt, or this happens, or he's in a QB split, or that happens. And it doesn't seem like it's going to change at all. Maybe he'll be one of those quarterbacks that has potential to go somewhere else, and find more success, like we've seen a few backups do recently.
But you don't as the head coach and GM and stuff, like you don't have time to just it's about survival. It's about keeping your job, and that is they're not in a place where it's like, hey, we can experiment with this guy for the first 5 or 6 games, because if you go 1-5 or 2-4 or something in those first 6 games, it's going to be a brutal way to try and make the playoffs or win the division in the AFC. Like you have to come out and be competitive every single week, and they don't have time to let him flounder anymore. Not in year 3.
Yeah. And we've seen the flashes, like you're saying, but even when he is out there and healthy, it's super inconsistent play still. It's not even like it's something to wait for, and they're sitting like, oh yeah, when this guy is healthy, he's going to go out. We still don't even know what he can be in a full season. You're 100% right. The Colts are in a spot where they're probably going to move on from Anthony Richardson after drafting him that high. It's unfortunate because I was rooting for him. He seems like a great guy. I'll never forget that I think it was the combine. He's out there giving stuff out to the homeless and stuff right before his workouts at the combine. I'm like, this is the dude right here.
He did the thing when they left that meeting room in Indianapolis, and he was in there cleaning up trash and everything, right? And
he just seems like a good dude.
I picked Anthony Richardson in our dynasty draft in the first round. I traded up to make sure I got him because I thought it was the perfect landing spot. I was like, Shane Steichen has worked with Justin Herbert as a rookie, and then he went over in years 2 and 3 and worked with Jalen Hurts, and what he was able to do. I was like, he could have a Jalen Hurts type situation where maybe there's some accuracy issues, but now all of a sudden he's moving in and he's the guy and he takes off. I still think Anthony Richardson can be good in this league, but if you look at what situation the people upstairs and the head coach on the field, what they're in, they have to start considering what does this look like moving forward. Yeah.
We'll see what happens with the Colts. They may even be a team that's in the QB market. The QB carousel continues in Indianapolis. I should make a video about that. I made a video about that a couple years ago when they were dealing with the Rivers, Matt Ryan rotation thing going. So I made a QB carousel video. I should bring that idea back.
Wouldn't this be so? Richardson was the first quarterback to start game 1 in back-to-back years since.
So we're going back. We're going back to the old status quo. Yeah.
And he would be the 7th starting quarterback in 9 seasons or 8 seasons or whatever it was since Andrew Luck retired. It would be, I don't know the exact numbers, but I
apologize ahead of time to Colts and Anthony Richardson fans for that video that will drop in the next few days now. But anyways.
Bill Flames, I'm with Mike on the mic. What's something brand new one time for your mind? He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster.